What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, guys, we're going to be taking a look at the graphene coating by Ethos right here. Now, this coating I applied to my Corvette C8 just a couple videos back, and in today's video we're going to be giving it its first wash, giving you guys my take on this coating after the first wash. But we're also going to be throwing in some helpful tips and tricks along the way during the washing process, guys. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. All right, guys, we're gonna jump right into tip number one. And this is gonna go for basically any vehicle that has a open engine bay, I guess you could say. For instance, like the Viper up there, it has 6 vents on the hood. Water gets right into the engine bay. Here on the Corvette, there is no difference really, except the engine's in the back on the Corvette. So I'm gonna be showing you guys is using towels, and ideally what you wanna do is do this when the engine is either cool or like not hot at all. Warm might be okay, but the problem is the engine runs pretty warm, and if you put towels back here that are flammable, that could actually catch fire. I just pulled it out from the shop. The car is totally cool. It's not warm at all. I can go ahead and literally put my hand all in here. We're good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this towels across right here. Once we got the towels in there, we're gonna close this up. But there's one other little trick, is you don't want to forget the towels are back there. So ideally you want to have a note or something right here. So I'm going to get a piece of paper and a note that says pull towels out of the engine bay, so I don't drive off with the towels back there, and then maybe a belt or something right there to grabs it, something moving part in the engine bay, pulls towels into the engine bay area and really does some damage or issues. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a piece of paper, put that note in there, and we'll go ahead and start it on the wash process. Alright, guys, so first things first, we want to start on the wheels. Anytime you wash a vehicle, you want to start on the wheels. Reason for that being, luckily we don't have any sun out right now, but even if it was warm or hot out, like if you lived in Arizona or somewhere where it's still hot, even when you're in the shade, that water can dry on the car if you're not using some kind of DI purified water where you still have mineral deposits in there. But anyways, just for good habit, we're going to start on the wheels here. Once we get the wheels in, we'll start on the pre-rinse, rinse the paint down, soap it up, and then we'll go ahead and do the actual washing process. But before I start the washing process, I'm going to jump into another helpful tip and trick about how I specifically wash paint and how I do not use the 2-bucket method. More to come on that in a second, guys. Let's get those wheels done. Now for these wheels right here, we're going to do a pre-rinse. We're going to rinse everything off. We're going to get probably 90% of the dirt and grime off of there just by doing the pre-rinse. We did coat these wheels also with the graphene coating by Ethos. So we'll go ahead and see how that works right there. I'll bring you guys in here, get a close-up of the wheel, rinse it down, show you guys a close-up of it after we've done the pre-rinse. Then we'll soap it up, use our nice little brushes here to get in there, agitate the last little 10% of dirt that's in there, do our final rinse, and move on to the rest of them. Put you guys back in here and see how the wheels look after we've done the wash. Easy peasy, guys. Having a wheel coating on here is so nice when it comes to cleaning and maintaining the wheels. All right, let's finish up the wheels and we'll get started on the paint. All right, now before we begin the pre-rinse here on the Corvette C8, a couple reasons why I do a pre-rinse is I want to remove most of the dirt from the surface, so when I go over it, I'm not potentially scratching the dirt into the paint there. So by doing the pre-rinse, by having a coating of wax, a sealant, something on the paint surface, same goes for the wheels there. I'm removing as much dirt as I can without physically touching it. Once I've rinsed it all down, I soap it up, and I use that soap as lubricant. As I go across the surface, I'm not applying any pressure. It's just enough pressure or enough to hold it in place there to knock the last little bit of dirt off of there. Do my final rinse, and then we go into the drying process. So let's go ahead and do our pre-rinse here on the Corvette, soap it up, and then I'll give you your next tip for the actual washing process. Alright guys, so now that we got the Corvette all soaked up, we're ready to begin the washing process. A couple things I want to go over here is mitts. We have our nice plush, fancy mitt here. This right here, garbage, we don't need that. We've got our cheapy little, get at any convenience store kind of sponge right here. This is absolute junk as well. And lastly here, we got this really nice, soft, plush sponge. This is junk as well. We do not need any of that. I'm not going to be using any of the sponges that you're telling me I'm taking that same two sides. Even have a grit guard and 2 bucket method and all that stuff. One, it's a waste of time. 2, I am wasting water by having 2 buckets with extra water, one for rinsing it off. The way I've been washing cars for several years now is I've got this nice plush 600 GSM microfiber towel. I fold it into 4s. I have it in my wash solution over here. I pull it out and I hold it by the 4 loose ends. I go over all the vehicle, and as I'm going through the vehicle, depending on how dirty it is, will determine how often I flip it. Usually I'll use one side per panel or 2, 1 to 2 panels, and flip it to a clean side. With doing a full vehicle, usually depending on the size of the vehicle condition, things along those lines, I'm going to use 2 to 3 towels of these right here. These nice plush 600 GSM microfiber towels for doing the whole vehicle. Without any further ado guys, let's get into washing this car. And for the record guys, these are for demonstration purposes only. I will never use these on a vehicle. Now once I've used up this whole towel right here, I will wring this out. I have a nice little drying rack in here, sit on the drying rack and grab a brand new fresh towel out of my bucket. Alright guys, it is now time for the final rinse. Alright, so now we got the washing process done, we're ready to dry the vehicle. A couple of different techniques we could use for the drying process. Right here on this one, I'm going to use my Master Blaster to blow pretty much most of the water off. I'm going to go back over it, the last little bit that's there, and just touch it up with another 600 GSM microfiber towel that's wrung out really good. And I'm going to be using the Adams H2O Garden Gloss for basically touching up those other little areas, and just literally adds a little bit of protection. So nothing crazy, but it just helps more of a drying aid is what I use it for. So let's go ahead and jump right into that. Also guys, hearing protection is key when you're blowing vehicles off. If you do this long term, you're gonna be blowing out your eardrums. All right, now let's get started. now that we've got the vehicle fully blown dry, and the reason why I want to mostly blow dry this vehicle is the paint is a little bit on the softer side of things, and I want to minimize the contact I'm making with the paint. Now all I'm doing is the last little water that's kind of just here and there throughout the paint. I'm taking my towel that I've wrung out really good, has my O&R wash solution on here, and I'm taking my H2O Garden Gloss by Adams, one little spritz on the towel here, and just touching up those little water spots.
All right, so now that we got the trunk here opened up, you can see these towels right here literally have soaked up all the water. We'll pull them up here in a second, but I'm pretty sure we don't think we have any water that went underneath there. Before I pull them up though, if you look right here, we've got some of the water that came through the vents right here and some of the soap. We're just gonna touch that up right here with the same towel technique. Same with that back window right there, just touch it up. Once we've got that dry, then we'll go ahead and pull those covers up, and everything underneath it should be pretty much dry. All right, so now that we've got everything dried up over here on the trunk lid, go ahead and remove those towels, and then I'll bring you guys in there and make sure everything looks dry, nice and dry still, but I think we're good on that. All right, let's have a look, guys. All right guys, so that right there confirms it. The towel method works absolutely perfect on here. And again guys, just make sure you put a note or something on your driver's seat so you don't literally drive off with the towels still up underneath it, because that would be a very bad day, I can imagine.
All right guys, I'm gonna wrap things up here because we're racing against the daylight. We'll pull this bad boy back inside in just a few minutes, and I'll give you guys my closing thoughts on the coating as well as a couple other little things. So see you guys in a second. Now before giving you guys my 2 cents here on the Ethos Graphene Coating, quick background on myself. I have been using ceramic coatings for about 7 or 8 years now, so I got in on the coatings fairly early on when there was a lot of misleading information still, and after doing my own personal testing, I saw a lot of these things that they were saying like, hey, it's not gonna scratch, your paint's not gonna be able to be scratched anymore, and all this amazing, crazy, ridiculous stuff and nonsense. There are a lot of realistic benefits to ceramic coatings that I have personally tested, and I will market that to my clients and give them a realistic expectation of what they can see out of a ceramic coating. And that's kind of like what I do before I will offer a product to my clients. I will personally test it so I know exactly how it works. I know the kind of durability they're going to get out of it, and then I'll start marketing it to my clients and hey, I got this product right here, works great, this is the benefits of it, you know, would you like me to put this on your car? So that's kind of where I'm at now with this graphene coating. I have yet to offer this to a client because I am still in my personal testing phases of this right here, seeing the kind of durability, what I can expect out of it and what my clients can expect out of it in a real world situation. That's why I've applied it to my Corvette C8 here. I do have a scrap hood over there. It's black that I got out of a junkyard, off a car. And I've since then, what I'm doing right now is I've ceramic coated one side that I use, like my actual coatings, my actual ceramic coatings that I currently use. And then the other half, I have applied this Ethos Graphene Coating, and I'm in the process of doing a lot more extensive testing to see what kind of durability this will get out of it. Other YouTubers have done their testing, and I'm kind of finding some of the similar results what I've tested so far, and I will come out with a separate video with my full 2 cents on this right here and giving you guys the full breakdown. So if you guys are interested in that, hit my subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, so when I do drop that video, you guys can take a look at that and get some more information on my side of it, what I think. Now, in terms of comparing this to a ceramic coating, your water beading on here after the first wash, is exactly what I expected. It's just as good as a ceramic coating. If I had applied a ceramic coating to the wheels or the paint, I have applied this Ethos to the paint, to the wheels here on the vehicle. I do not see any crazy difference when it comes to water beading with ceramic versus this graphene coating. So as far as water beading, no real difference. Now as far as durability, I'm not going to know durability until I've put some miles on this car, which I am definitely racking up. I've got over 2,000 miles on this car at this point, and that was in a very short time. I definitely plan to drive this car a lot more. So durability wise, in a real world setting on a client's car that they would be driving, daily driving. Granted, this one sits here in the nice garage, so it's not sitting outside. But as far as durability, I do not know yet. But I say with anything, I tell all my clients this right here. When it comes to durability, it's not like if you put this on your car right here, you will see 5 years out of it. You will see 3 years. You see a lifetime out of it. There's a lot of misleading information when it comes to durability. And I will say this right here, this is with ceramic coatings that I use. If you have, say, a coating, for example, that's rated at 2 years, it doesn't mean at 2 years there's nothing left on your paint. All that means is basically they're giving you a general expectation, but here's what I say when I talk to my clients. You can put a 2-year coating on your car. If you're the kind of guy that has a Corvette, you just take it out on weekends, you don't daily drive it, it sits in a nice garage, you're gonna see well over 2 years out of that ceramic coating. More than likely, you're gonna be at the point where you're gonna wanna polish your car first before you need to put better or more protection on there, because you're gonna get swirls and scratches through routine maintenance, wiping things down, things along those lines. So you put a lifetime coating on your car. If you don't care about swirls and scratches, great, but that lifetime coating is not really a lifetime coating. Now, from my understanding, this Ethos Graphene Coating right here, it's rated, I think, 3 to 5 years, they said, somewhere in there. Just because it's rated at 3 to 5 years doesn't mean it's gonna last 3 to 5 years. If you have a vehicle that you keep outside, maybe you live in a very hot part of the country, maybe you run it through an automated car wash every week, that 3 to 5 year coating may only last you a year or two if you're lucky. It doesn't mean it's gonna last you 3 to 5 years, and that's where a lot of people are misled. If you do not maintain and take care of your vehicle properly, you're not gonna see that durability out of it. Now, some coatings out there are rated for a year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever the case is. What I think the biggest thing is if I was to put a 2-year coating, or what it's rated at, they say, a 2-year coating on a client's vehicle, doesn't mean at 2 years there's nothing left on there. If you maintain it, take care of it, keep it garage, that 2-year coating can last you 5, 10, 15, 20 years. It really comes down to how you're maintaining it, keeping the car, taking care of it. A lot of that really applies into durability. So anyways, getting off track there a little bit, giving you guys my take here on the Ethos. I think it's a great product. I don't think this is like some crazy latest and greatest thing that this is like, oh my God, take my ceramic coatings and throw them in the trash. This is like all I'm using now. I really don't think that's gonna be the case. But like I said, guys, I will be doing a lot more extensive testing here very soon, and I'll be dropping a video on that once I finish up that testing. And I've got some pretty cool tests lined up here with those coatings. So anyways, guys, that's all I have for you guys in today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a big old thumbs up, and if you haven't already done so, be sure to hit the subscribe button. We got a lot more great content coming here in the very near future. Till then, guys, I'm signing off, and I'll talk to you later.